Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a good night. I am King Piggly. This is Gaming Imperfectly. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, bear with me, guys, because this is going to be a rough one. But for those that know me and follow this channel, you know I have a love for The Last of Us. I have a love for the characters of Joel and Ellie. The original game came out in 2013, and it is what I consider to be one of the best games, if not the best game ever made. Alright? It won numerous awards. In fact, if we were to take time to actually list them all, we'd probably talk for 10 to 15 minutes about what awards this game won. The voice acting is second to none. The story is amazing. It's in-depth. It's rich. The characters are just the same. You laugh. There's humor. You can identify with these characters. And you do. And that's what makes The Last of Us such an amazing game. Then we've waited. We've waited for years now for a story that didn't necessarily need to be told. The Last of Us 2 wasn't a must-have. It was something that fans were looking forward to because, of course, we want to see more of Joel and Ellie, but it certainly didn't. We didn't need one because The Last of Us, the first game, ended so perfectly. There was no need to continue the story. I mean, of course, you want to do fans a service and bring them back because they've become such iconic characters, Joel and Ellie. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about The Last of Us 2. Let's give a review. Buckle up.
I don't know what happened.
Okay. Where to start, guys? I'm outraged. I've played this game. I'm not going to dignify this game, this walking pile of excrement, by playing it on my channel. This game is such a disrespectful disservice to the fans that I will not even throw any kind of attention its way other than to do what I'm doing now, which is to have a honest discussion about The Last of Us 2. So the first thing I want to talk about is, guys, there's going to be spoilers involved in this. If you don't care about spoilers, please watch. If you are looking for an honest-to-God, real-life human being who's bought this game with his own money, has played this game and loved the first game, then welcome, and I hope you enjoy this review and get something out of it. And if I can save you from spending money, your hard-earned money, on this, by all means, that is a service, and I'm glad to do it, because, wow. But spoiler alert, guys, because they're coming, alright? Also, I want to say, none of my venom is directed at this game for its social issues, the routes that it chose to go. I don't care about transgenders, I don't care about homosexuality, I don't care about any of that stuff. You can be purple with polka dots for all I care, and fall madly in love with a swing set, and I'm going to support your right to do so. Because I believe we all have the right to happiness and to live our lives however we choose, as long as we're not harming anyone else. So with that being said, this hatred that I have for this game, and I know it's a strong word, but I'm going to use it, and this hatred I have for The Last of Us 2 has nothing to do, alright, with the voice actors or the characters or how they were portrayed. I don't care anything about that as far as their sexuality is concerned or anything like that, alright? So nobody can blow up my comment section if it comes saying, well, you're a bigot or anything like that. Another fun fact is that my mom came out of the closet when I was 12. So I was actually raised in a household that had two women as my upbringers, not a man and a woman. So in the 80s and 90s. So I'm not hating on anybody, but Naughty Dog Naughty Dog, Naughty Dog, Naughty Dog. You assholes. There's no need to do what you've done to this game. And we're going to get into the review now. And I'm going to try to keep it some semblance of civility, but it's going to be extraordinarily hard considering how upset I am at what they've put out. The garbage that they've given us with The Last of Us 2. But before I get to the bad points, guys, let's talk about the good points of this game. It is beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. The textures, the lighting, everything about it, it is absolutely gorgeous. And I love that about it. The environments are rich and detailed. It is amazing. And I cannot rave enough about how beautiful this game is because it is a sight to behold. And the music. The original guy who did the original soundtrack, they brought him back. I think his name is Gustavo. Acoustic guitars and haunting melodies abound in this game, and it really helps to set a scene. And it's also very familiar, the music, because it does. I mean, it's the same guy that did the first Last of Us, so it is familiar, and it brings up that nostalgia of the first game to those that played it. And it's comforting. It's good. It's like I said, it's a wonderful soundtrack. And the voice acting. Again, they've got great voice actors with Troy Baker and the gang. They brought out the works. They do a great job in this game, and I have nothing but respect for the voice actors in this game. I think they gave it their all, and I can at least respect that. What they had to work with is not their fault. So graphics, music, voice acting, all top notch. I would give it 100% even out of 100. But in a story-driven survival horror, graphics and music and voice acting are not enough to save this dumpster fire of a game. And that is the only good points to this game as far as I'm concerned. All right? So get ready, because now we're going to talk about the bad. All right? Right out the gate, the only real touching moment in this game. See, within the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the original Last of Us, they invoke emotions in you. Sarah gets killed. Joel's weeping and begging her not to die. Tommy's standing there watching. The pandemic's just broke out. It's touching. It's emotional. It is provocative and shocking. And it draws you in to one of the most epic stories ever told in video games with The Last of Us. The beginning of this, you see Joel talking to Tommy, and he tells Tommy what he did at the end of The Last of Us when he saved Ellie. All right, he goes back to the city, and that they're all living in, which I assume is still Jackson, Colorado, and goes to Ellie's house, which at this point in time, it's a flashback again, because the main part of the game takes place when Ellie's probably around 20, 21 years old. So the flashback doesn't tell us how long they had been in Jackson when Joel tells Tommy what he had done at the end of the first game. But I would say somewhere around a year, maybe two, have passed since the beginning of The Last of Us when we first see Ellie. So I think Ellie's around 16. Joel shows up to her house, and he brings a guitar, he sings her a song, and it's beautiful. It's touching, I love that part, and it is reminiscent to the first game. And when I first started playing the game, it gave me such hope that this was going to be a good game, because I had unfortunately been spoiled with some leaks when they were leaked about this game. And I was hoping that nothing I had actually heard was true, and some of it wasn't. I mean, some of it proved to be false, or at least it was misleading in a way, but I had hopes. Seeing the opening of The Last of Us 2 with Joel singing to Ellie and how touching it was, that we were in for a great game. I was really excited about it. 37 minutes into the game. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Well, first, back up, because like I said, I'm really kind of upset about this, and I'm trying to keep my thoughts straight. The relationship between Joel and Ellie is strained. That's really, it's understandable considering Joel lying to Ellie, and I think Ellie in her heart knew that Joel was lying to her, but she didn't really know. At the end of The Last of Us, she said, "Swear to me that what you've said is true," and Joel says, "I swear." And the look on Ellie's face is either disappointment or disbelief, but mixed with this, this love that she has for Joel and has developed over their road trip, which is, absolutely what happened in the first game. Ellie developed familiar feelings for Joel as far as parentally is concerned. She saw him as type of father figure, and he was there to protect her, and they formed a bond. That bond is really strained at the beginning of The Last of Us 2, and I don't know if I really like that or not, but I could understand it. But it was something that was there, and it just made me kind of go, yeah, I don't really know if these characters are behaving like maybe they should. But I forged ahead. 37 minutes into the game, we are introduced to a new character, Abby. All right? I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't care about Abby. All right? The game is designed to make you care about Abby. This game does this repeatedly. It forces you to do things. It doesn't give you choices about things. You just have to go with the flow, whether you like it or not. And that's just really to take characters that you love and want to play, and within 37 minutes you start dismissing them for this new character who downright seems like an asshole to me at the beginning of the game. I mean, throughout the game, and we'll get to that, they explain Abby, they give you details, they give you histories, they give you all this stuff to make you care about Abby as a person, and really try to force her to be the new Joel kind of character. And we'll get to that. But within 37 fucking minutes of this game, you're playing as Abby. They could have at least let... this game is 25, 30 hours of gameplay. They could have at least gave you 15 hours of gameplay with Joel and Ellie, for God's sakes. 8. Something like that, before just dismissing these characters and doing the things, making the choices that they made with this story. It's beyond me. But let's go to that choice. Guys, spoiler alert again. Okay? Right up till now, if you don't want to know anything, now's the time to go. Alright? But here it comes. So, spoiler alert. Big disclaimer. Alright, Joel rescues Abby. Abby's going to die, and Joel and Tommy stumble upon her as she's being attacked by infected, and they rescue her. And they... completely contrary to who Joel is and who Tommy is and the life that they've had. I mean, Abby wasn't even freaking, she was an infant or not even born when the infection started. She was born after the infection hit. Joel lived through an apocalypse and developed who he is and who we see him as in The Last of Us. He doesn't trust anybody. He's cold. He's callous. He's completely unempathetic to a lot of situations and ultimately brutal. Then, in this stupid scene, Joel rescues Abby. They ride to take her back to her people. They show up at this house. There's a whole group of armed dudes and women inside this house, and Joel and Tommy stroll in there and freaking introduce themselves. When Henry and Sam in the first game met Joel and Ellie, Joel wouldn't tell him his name. And then when Ellie was like, "Hi, I'm Ellie," because he was like, "I believe I caught your name's Joel." And Ellie's like, "Oh, I'm Ellie." And Joel kind of looks at her like, "Why are you offering up information to these perfect strangers?" Who, by the way, 5 seconds ago, I was beating to death because I thought he was a bad guy. It's just one of those moments where in the new game, in The Last of Us 2, where Tommy and Joel, these worldly men who have lived through an apocalypse, merrily stroll into an enemy camp and introduce them fucking selves. It's mind-boggling. And which point in time, Abby shoots Joel in the leg with a shotgun. They attach a tourniquet to it. They beat Tommy up to an inch of his life. And then Abby proceeds to beat Joel to death with a golf club. Ellie shows up trying to help him. She gets captured as well, and that's when Joel dies. And it's begging and get up, Joel, and it's horrible in every fashion imaginable. And it's not the brutality that bothered me, although it's graphic. It's totally, I mean, there's brains on the freaking golf club by the time it's done. However, it's the treatment of this freaking character, all right, that fans have come to love and adore, who they emotionally identify with. They go on this epic journey. I myself have played the original game, The Last of Us, no less than 20 times, guys. It's an amazing game. And although Joel is a monster, he doomed humanity with his choices. He has murdered innocent people in the past. He's very clear about that. He even, even Tommy tells him when they're having a discussion and it's getting heated that, Joel yells at him, "You survived because of me." And Tommy tells him it wasn't worth it. I still have nightmares about those days. Tommy would rather have died than to have experienced and witnessed the terrible things Joel did to keep them alive in that 20-year span of trying to survive. And Joel's a horrible human being. He's done terrible things. But it doesn't stop that we as characters have come to be attached to him, identify with him, root for him as we played The Last of Us. And then, within the first 2 hours of gameplay of The Last of Us 2, he is so unceremoniously killed in front of Ellie. It is truly disgusting. I mean, it's so horrible that I'm not even going to go on about it. It's just one of the most largest fuck you to a fan base I've ever seen a gaming company do. I would take a billion microtransaction EA games any day of the week over The Last of Us 2. I mean, seriously, it's that horrible what they've done. Moving on, okay? Again, Joel and all these characters throughout this game act contrary to their natures. They don't behave the way they were behaving in The Last of Us. The ones that are still around, they do stupid things. They don't things that you just wouldn't do. I mean, they know better than to do. And they, time and time again in this game, put these characters in these stupid situations to where they just act like they have absolutely no common sense, or at least act like the first game never existed. And it's just absolutely atrocious. Again, plot hole after plot hole in this game. Where did these people come from? What did this do? They added a cutscene when Joel breaks down the door to save Ellie in The Last of Us. In The Last of Us 2, they show that scene as Joel is talking to Tommy about it and telling him what he did. The doctor grabs the scalpel off the tray and says, "What are you doing in here? I won't let you take her." Now that's all he said. That's all he said to Joel. In the game The Last of Us. I just played it day before yesterday. I did an all-day stream. I played the first Last of Us. I promise you, at the end of that game, the doctor only says, "I won't let you take Ellie." And then Naughty Dog forces you to shoot this dude. You can't bop him on the head with your baseball bat. You can't choke him out. You can't slap him around. You can't just pick him up and throw him. You have to kill him. Now, you don't have to kill anybody else, If you watch my playthrough, I killed a couple of dudes. I ran through the rest of the hospital. And then I didn't kill the two doctors that were in the room with Ellie. I just had to kill the one. So they force you to kill this doctor. Then they had a fucking cutscene into the new game, into The Last of Us 2, when Joel's telling Tommy about it. And the doctor says, "Do you know how many people she'll save the world? Think about what you're doing." Like he actually had a conversation with Joel. It never happened. It never happened. They're just adding shit to make sense of a crap story that they presented in The Last of Us 2. And that's just one of numerous bullshit things that they've done, Going on again, guys. And that leads me to exactly what they do in this game. What they do in this game over and over again is make you do things. You don't have a choice. From bashing a dog to death to controlling Abby in stupid situations, controlling Ellie in stupid situations. They never give you choices. They, time and time again, force you into situations force you to do things that you as a character don't have a choice into doing, and then they try to chastise you about it throughout the games. Like after you bash a dog's head in, they're going to give you a flashback of when it's a puppy and playing fetch. I mean, it's grotesque. It's like, why even do that? What lesson are you trying to teach, Naughty Dog? Are you trying to teach me that violence is bad? Are you trying to teach me violence begets violence? What are you trying to tell? It seems to me they are shaming the fans and characters, and they're shaming us gamers over and over again into feeling bad for choices that we had no choice in. It's absolutely the dumbest thing I've ever seen a gaming company pull on a fan base and expect them to go, oh, this game's 10 out of 10. I love being manipulated, lied to, and forced to choke down Neil Jerkman. They ought to call him Cockman or Drunkman, because I swear to God this guy's on crack. Whatever agenda, I don't know what it is. It seems to me, truly, that he's almost ashamed of the characters that he made in the first Last of Us, and that this game is a systematic, egocentric purge, somehow, of this last game. It's like James Cameron coming in to the fucking new Terminator and shooting fucking John Connor and saying, oh yeah, by the way, none of this shit fucking mattered. Any of the movies you've ever watched are a bunch of bullshit. It's garbage. And it's such a disservice to the fan base. And that's why Terminator sucked ass. And that's exactly why this game sucks ass. I'm going to talk about this briefly, guys. The Abby sex scene. There is a sex scene in this game. All right. Where the character of Abby, who has killed Joel, and you're systematically, basically hunting down Ellie or warring with Ellie, and they ask you to care about this character, and then there's this really weird androgynous. People were calling it anal sex scene. I don't know if she was getting anal. People keep calling her transgender. I don't know if Abby's transgender. They've never confirmed that, and honestly, I don't care. But I don't need it. I didn't need to see it. It's one of those things that I am going to wake up and never have a hard-on again, because now I've witnessed something I can't unsee, and it's so unappealing and so unattractive and so weird that I'm just like, holy God, what are you fucking thinking? And again, it has nothing to do with the actors. It has nothing to do with that. It's all the script. It's what they have to read, I mean, good Lord, you can pick up a turd and cover it in fucking chocolate sprinkles, but that don't make it a candy bar. It's just horrible, guys. So be prepared for that. If you're gonna buy this game, understand that there's gratuitous sex scenes, there's gratuitous violence, and they trash the first game and its characters at every given opportunity, and you should be aware of that before you spend your money on it. Ultimately, it's a bad story, guys. What else can I say? Ellie's love interest in this game is Dina. All right, and they go cute, and then they flirtsy, and they smoke some pot, and they have some sex, and they do all these things that make typical 80 horror films let you know that something's bad's gonna happen to the character, because they are being immoral by society standards. So you have two lesbians, or bisexuals. I don't care. It's not their insexuality that's the important part. It's what Naughty Dog put them doing. And that's what I'm furious about. It's all stupid. It's a bad story, guys. And then you have Dina and Ellie, who are supposed to have some sort of meaningful relationship. And at the end of the movie, or end of the game, Dina leaves. At the end of the game, Dina leaves Ellie because of her choices. It's one slap in the face after another to anybody who has ever played video games, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, do they think we're fucking idiots? Do they think that we just don't have brains, or we can't see the crap that they're pulling in these games and how bad the story is? I mean, again, just because you say something is a masterpiece doesn't make it a masterpiece. If my son covered the wall in chocolate syrup smiley faces and said, "Dad, look what I created," I'd be like, it's a fucking mess. And then I'd have to clean that shit up. Well, that's what I'm doing with this. This is what this review's about. This is me cleaning up the mess I think that Naughty Dog made in my own particular way. Because God knows I can't scrub it clean from the universe, because I fucking would. Alright? Hands down, absolutely horrific. And by it all said and done, guys, after it's all said and done, at the end of the day, Ellie lets Abby go. And you see Abby, she's taking this kid around named Levi. I mean, they really try to sell you on the fact that Abby is the one you should care about, and Joel's a fucking cocksucker that deserved to die. And Ellie's a monster and can't let go of violent past, even though during this game, she has so many opportunities to let shit go and move on with her life. And she won't. This lessons of perpetual violence never gets realized by Ellie, and she's just going to be doomed to repeat the same mistakes like she's some fuckcod that just sits over there stinking up the joint. It's just terrible. It's just such a sucker punch right to the guts, man. I mean, it's like being hit in the solar plexus over and over again as you play this game. And not to mention, like I said, it's almost 30 hours of gameplay, 20 hours of gameplay. I mean, depends how you play it, how much you search and all that stuff. You know what? It's a long game. And it's a long game because it sucks ass so bad. See? There's the problem. I have no problem playing a game for 30 hours or taking me 2 days or perpetually, I don't care. Let's play it forever. I hope the story never ends. If it's a good story. But it's not a good story, guys. It is a festering pile of dog shit. And that's what I like it to. This was so unpleasant and unsatisfying. It's like walking barefoot through your yard so you can feel the grass between your toes and stepping into a giant pile of dog shit. There's nothing pleasant about this. It's completely upsetting. And I will not absolutely save your money, guys. There are other games coming out. There's Cyberpunk, there's Avengers, there's going to be other games. I guarantee you that they will be, even if they are the worst games ever fucking made, and it's going to be better than The Last of Us 2. Never have I seen so much money spent on something that is so fucking garbage that it just blows the mind. I can't believe the studio even produced this. And I pray to all that's holy and fucking decent that Sony sees what a cockknocker old Neil douchebag is and gives him the fucking boot. This isn't a masterclass in storytelling. He captured lightning in a bottle with The Last of Us 1. He got lucky. He started out as a nobody, as a programmer for Naughty Dog. He rose up the ranks. He happened to become lead designer, I think, for Uncharted. And then he got his big break where he directed and wrote The Last of Us off an idea he had in college. And it was put together in a brilliant way, and he captured lightning in a bottle. And you know what he did with this? He captured a big steaming pile of cow shit, and he wrapped it up in tinfoil, and now he's going around selling it to everybody as if they're fucking dangly Tiffany fucking earrings. It's still a big pile of shit. That's all there is to it, And I, for one, I'm just furious about it. I cannot believe that they would take fans and treat them this way. I don't know. And the biggest, one of the huge problems I have, guys, one of the biggest problems I have too, is that on social media right now, Naughty Dog is getting their ass ripped. Okay? I am not the only person that feels this way about this game. There are tons of real human beings who are outraged by this. Yes, big gaming channels who got review copies are going to sit and kiss its ass and lick Neil's butthole and tell him what a great game it is. He's just going to pump up his ego even more. And then, I'm sure that, Metacritic gave it 95%. I mean, come on, 95 out of 100. Give me a break. What kind of crack are you smoking up there? I mean, are you guys just sitting around fondling Neil's genitals and telling him what a great person he is for fucking destroying the most iconic, one of the most iconic fucking characters ever to grace gaming? It's a travesty. It's a travesty. And it's no surprise to me that the user ratings on Metacritic for The Last of Us 2, the last time I looked, were at 3.3. People have spoken. The fans have spoken, and it has nothing to do with hatred for transgenders or anything like that. This is a garbage of a game because the story is fucking dumpster fire quality, and the treatment of the fan base, including myself, is just the most atrocious thing I could ever imagine. I mean, but I tell you this, guys, Naughty Dog has officially got their last buck out of me. I will no longer support this company in any way, shape, or form. I will no longer discuss their games or anything they're doing on Gaming Imperfectly, and I highly suggest that you save your money. Of course, I welcome critical thinking, guys. Always think for yourself. If you want to spend your hard-earned money on this game, then by all means, go ahead, play it for yourself. But understand that I've tried to warn you. And ultimately, if you do decide to get it and you like this game, what can I say? You know, everybody, each to their own, as I always say, guys. It's your world, you're living in it, you got to do you. But I am amongst the majority of people right now who are calling this game garbage because, if it walks like a duck, it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's probably a fucking duck. And in this case, if it smells like shit and it squishes like shit, it's probably shit. And that's my opinion on The Last of Us 2. However, I'm going to end this video with the only touching moment in this game as a tribute to the great character of Joel Miller and Troy Baker, who has voiced him and has done an amazing job. I can't think of anything else to do other than that. Please play the first Last of Us. It's totally worth playing, unless you are going to take a stance like me and no longer buy Naughty Dog games. It's a sad thing. It's a sad day in gaming when they've pulled what they've pulled. And I'm just heartbroken, guys. I'm heartbroken. I personally feel like I've been betrayed by Naughty Dog with the story that they gave us. A story we didn't even ask for. I have had a rough year so far. My in-laws potentially could have the coronavirus. They've been exposed and they're on quarantine. My service dog Pig died of cancer. Division 2 has been totally ruined by Ubisoft, in my opinion. It's glitchy. It's underbalanced, overbalanced. They can't figure out what the fuck's going on ever since Warlords of New York. And now, this. What's next? I tell you what, after watching the Abby sex scene, I'll probably get in the shower and my dick fall off and go straight down the drain. And I'll just be like, because that's par for the fucking course at this point in time. I just can't even go on, guys. But that's it. That's all I got, guys. I've spoke my piece. I've done the best I can to try to keep this as clean as I possibly can, but I know I haven't. I apologize if I've offended anybody, but honest to God, this is my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. Just like if you like the game, more power to you. But I highly suggest, again, guys, you think twice about spending your money on it. Anyway, that's it for King Piggly, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps me out. It also lets me know you agree with my opinion on this, that Naughty Dog sold us a giant turd. And I want to know. And that means leave something in the comment section below. Have you played this? Are you going to play it? Do you care? Are you a fan of the first game? Because that's a big thing too. If you didn't play the first game, play the shit out of the second one. You'll probably love it. But if you're at all remotely a fan of the first game, I imagine you're going to have some serious issues with the second game. However, I'd love to hear what you guys think of it in the comment section below. It means a lot when I hear from you guys. But that's it for King Piggly today, guys. I have nothing else. I'm emotionally drained. I got done streaming. I streamed for hours on end. I've played this game. I am tired. I've slept like zero. And it broke me. Well, congratulations, Naughty Dog. I'm a pretty tough old goat, but you guys really managed to give me the hose on this one. Joel, take it away.
If I ever were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself. Everything I have found here, I'm not found by myself. Try and sometimes you'll succeed to make this man of me. Oh, all my stolen missing parts. I've no need for any more. 'Cause I believe, and I believe 'cause I can see our future days, days of you and me. There you go.